Hello everyone, this is Pallavi. I am going to discuss about biochemical reactions which will be routinely used for the bacterial identification. So in the last part some of the biochemical reaction I already discussed, and then I am going to continue with the some of the other biochemical reactions which will be used routinely for the identification of the bacteria. So let's start with the topic. First one is the no-Bison DIS test. So what is this no-Bison DIS test? This test will do it for the Staphylococcus species. So when do we do? When we see the gram-positive cocci on the blood agar plate, and then we will go for the catalase test. So when it comes positive, then we will go for the coagulase test. Suppose coagulase test comes positive, then we will say it is a Staphylococcus aureus. If it is negative, then we will say it is a cons, coagulase negative Staphylococcus species. There are many species of coagulase negative Staphylococcus species are there. Among that, one is Staphylococcus saprophyticus. It is very important urinary tract infection causing bacteria that has to be identified and then has to be reported along with the sensitivity. So in that cases we will go for the no-Bison DIS test. So we will do the coagulase test, it comes the negative. Then how do we differentiate this Staphylococcus saprophyticus from the other cons? So we will use no-Bison disc. Here what we will do is, whenever we suspect that GPC or beta hemolytic GPC and comes catalase positive, then we will go for the coagulase test. Along with this same bacteria we will inoculate, or we are swabbing on the Muller-Hinton agar or on the sheep blood agar. We will swab it and we will put a no-Bison disc over that, and then we look for the sensitivity. Suppose coagulase comes negative as well as no-Bison shown resistant with a zone size of 6 mm to 12 mm zone, then we will consider this is the Staphylococcus saprophyticus. Suppose coagulase negative and then zone size is more than that, it is about more than 16 mm zone, it could be a other coagulase negative Staphylococcus other than Staphylococcus saprophyticus. So this is about the no-Bison disc. So how do you check the quality control? For the positive control or for the sensitive zone, you will use Staphylococcus epidermidis, and negative control for the resistant pattern you will use Staphylococcus saprophyticus. Next one is the optochin susceptibility. Optochin susceptibility we will use to detect the identification of the Streptococcus pneumoniae. So whenever there is alpha hemolytic colonies on blood agar, we will differentiate the bacteria into two, that is Streptococcus pneumonia and alpha hemolytic Streptococcus, also called it as Viridum streptococci. So how do you do? This is the one of the test for the identification of the Streptococcus pneumoniae. Here we will take a well isolated alpha hemolytic bacterial colony and we swab it on the blood agar. So here we are directly swabbing because it is a fastidious organism. Alpha hemolytic bacteria will not grow on even simple media, and then if you inoculate it on peptone water and all, and then you are going for the turbidity, it will not grow. So that is the reason we are directly swabbing it on the blood agar. So here in this plate you can see half of the plate with the positive control, half of the plate negative control we already inoculated, and then we will put a optochin disc over that, and then we will incubate at about 35 degrees Celsius for about 18 to 24 hours with the candle jar, or we can incubate it at incubate in carbon dioxide incubator as it is fastidious bacteria. Later we can look for the zone size. There is any zone around that disc, then we will consider it as the sensitive. So there is no limitation like that it has to be this much of zone size, like that, nothing like that. It should be like if little of clear zone is there around the disc, then we will say it is sensitive, that is Streptococcus pneumoniae. There is no zone at all, then we will say it is Viridum streptococci. So how to do this quality control? For the positive control we can use Streptococcus pneumoniae and negative control Viridum streptococci. Next one is the bile solubility test. This is another test for the identification of the Streptococcus pneumoniae. Here what will happen, Streptococcus pneumoniae has ability to produce toxin called autolysin. It will be in inactive form inside the bacterial cell. When sodium deoxycholate, it is a bile salt, when we add to the bacterial colony, there will be a lower in the surface tension between the medium as well as the bacterial cell membrane, and autolysin will exposes outside, and then automatically it will kill the bacteria, and then we can see the clearing of the zone or the bacteria around that hemolysis. So how to do this test? So here bile salt or sodium desoxycholate 10% we will take in the solution form, and then we'll drop it over the well isolated alpha hemolytic colony, and then without turning that plate we'll close the lid and keep it in the incubator at about 35 degrees Celsius for about half an hour. After that we have to see the clearing of the bacterial colony. If there is no colony, only that hemolysis left out, then we'll say it is positive. Suppose colonies are intact, then we will say bile solubility test is negative. So for the positive control we can use Streptococcus pneumoniae, and for the negative control we can use Streptococcus pyogenes or Enterococcus faecalis. You can do it with the tube method also. In that tube method you can make a suspension with the saline, and that bacterial suspension can be divided into two tube, and then we have to add a few drops of the sodium deoxycholate solution into the one tube. Another tube it should be as like, and has to incubate at 35 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes, and we have to look for the clearing of the bacterial colony at the base of the tube. So next one is bacitracin and sulfamethoxazole trimethoprim, or simply called it as the cotrimoxazole susceptibility test. This one we will do it for the beta hemolytic streptococci. So where there is a beta hemolytic colonies will present, then we will go for the catalyst test. If it is a catalyst positive, then we will keep it under the staphylococcus species. If it is a negative, then we will say it is a streptococcus species, or could be a enterococcus also sometime. So then we will go for the BEA test, Bailey-Skulinagar test, or you can do PYR test, commonly used in the laboratory for the to differentiate enterococci and beta hemolytic streptococci. Suppose any one of the test you are doing, or both the tests are you are doing, if it is a positive, then we will keep it under the enterococci species. Suppose this test comes negative, then we have to differentiate the beta hemolytic streptococci into group A and group B and other beta hemolytic streptococci. In that case we will do bacitracin and cotrimoxazole susceptibility test. Here well isolated beta hemolytic colonies with a similar type will take 3-4 colonies and inoculate it on blood agar, and we will put a disc of bacitracin and cotrimoxazole with the zone distance with the disc distance about 15 millimeter distance. It is very important part. Always disc has to maintain the distance at least 15 millimeter, or far you can keep, but near to that should not be kept. And then plate will be incubated at 35 degrees Celsius, and carbon dioxide incubator we can keep for the 18 to 24 hours. Then we have to look for the sensitivity pattern. Suppose bacitracin is sensitive and cotrimoxazole is resistant, then we can report it as presumptive of group A. Suppose bacitracin and cotrimoxazole both are resistant, that is presumptive of group B. Note down, bacitracin sensitive is a group A and bacitracin resistant is group B, along with both are cotrimoxazole resistant. Suppose bacitracin is either sensitive or resistant, doesn't matter, but cotrimoxazole comes as sensitive, then we will say it is a non-group A or non-group B. So how you will report? You will report like it as the beta hemolytic streptococci presumptive of group A by bacitracin SXT or group B colonies. So like that we have to report. Next one is the PYR test. So PYR test usually will do for the identification of the Streptococcus pyogenes, that is group A beta hemolytic streptococci and enterococci by the presence of enzyme alpha pyrrolidonyl arylamidase. So let's see the principle of this. Here we will take a PYR reagent. So bacteria will produce an enzyme, already I told you, alpha pyrrolidonyl aryl amidase enzyme. This enzyme will react with the beta naphthalamine and will give the bright red color after adding the PYR reagent, that is N,N-methylaminocinnamaldehyde. So how to do this test? You will take a PYR reagent and you will inoculate the bacteria and you will incubate it for 35 degrees Celsius for about 18 to 24 hours. Later we will add the PYR reagent. So when we add the PYR reagent, can see the bright red ring. So you can make out in picture, this is yellow color, this is the negative control, and then over that here you can see red color ring, you can make out that is PYR test is positive. So for the positive control you can use Enterococcus faecalis or Streptococcus pyogenes. For the negative control you can use Streptococcus agalacea or group B. Another one is satellitism. Satellitism means for the Haemophilus identification we will use routinely. We cannot go for the very deep procedure for this. Here what will happen is, actually Haemophilus influenza required NAD, that is called NAD, nicotinamide adenine deaminase, and then NADPH. These are the two major components it's required for the growth. So that is the reason we are inoculating Haemophilus on chocolate agar. Why we are inoculating on chocolate agar? Because so chocolate agar, how do we prepare is, when the nutrient agar after autoclaving we will take out, and then when the temperature still at about 70-75 degrees Celsius we will add blood and we make it into chocolate agar. That means RBC will lyse. RBC has this NAD and NADPH factor. These are very important for the growth of Haemophilus. So when we add blood to that nutrient agar with that high temperature, blood cell will lyse and then it will expose to the environment or in the media, and Haemophilus will well grow. So here in the satellitism, the alternative path will use. So by exposing that bacteria towards the NAD and NADPH factor. So how to do in this test satellitism? So here we will take a blood agar plate and then we will inoculate the Staphylococcus aureus one with a line marker. So we can make out here in this picture. So the center is the Staphylococcus. So we know that Staphylococcus aureus will lyse the RBCs. When this will lyse the RBCs, this NAD factor will expose us in the media. So just parallel to this Staphylococcus, Haemophilus, suspected Haemophilus will inoculated or streaked, that will be parallel to this Staphylococcus without touching the Staphylococcus colonies. So and then will incubate at 35 degrees Celsius in the carbon dioxide incubator for about 18 to 24 hours. Then we look for the this Haemophilus colonies towards this Staphylococci. So far from this we cannot make out the any colonies, because on the blood agar it will not grow well. So that is the reason Staphylococcus supplying that factor by hemolysis, and then it will be used up by the Haemophilus and it will grow. So this procedure is called it as the satellitism. Next, another test for the Haemophilus influenza is X and V factors will be used. So here what we'll do is trypticase soy agar plate will be used. Trypticase soy agar will be taken and then Haemophilus suspected will be inoculated on the trypticase soy agar plate. Remember, Haemophilus is a fastidious organism. Once again, you cannot do with your simple media inoculation and 0.5 McFarland turbidity. Here direct plating only we are doing. So here what we are doing is here inoculating the Haemophilus on the plate. After that, disc of the factor B and factor X placed on the inoculated plate 1 to 2 cm apart aseptically. So here what we'll do, you can see here two tests I have shown here. One is here X factor and V factor. Here growth we can find out in between these two factors. So Haemophilus will use both X and V factor and will grow in between these two. So here we can see Here one X factor, here one V factor, there is no growth at all. But combination of the drug we used, that is X and V, there will be a growth around that, and far from this there is no growth at all. So this is called it as the growth with the X and V factor. These are the major part for the growth of the Haemophilus growth. Next one is the bile esculin test that I told you already for the identification of the Enterococcus species. Here what will happen, media will contains the bile esculin, and then bacteria, when you add it, undergo the hydrolysis with the esculin and produces the glucose and esculatin. This esculatin will produce with the black color complex when it combined with the ferric ion in the media. So we can see with we will do it for the identification of commonly with the Enterococcus species, and for the group D streptococci also we can do it. Here how do you do? BEA in a media, slant will be inoculated with the bacterial colony, will incubate it for 18 to 24 hours, and we look for the blackish colony. Usually 18 to 24 hours is not required for the bile esculin agar test. Usually within 2 to 3 hours if it is a positive will come. That is our practical experience. So we no need to go for the 18 to 24 hours, but procedure is 18 to 24 hours. If it doesn't come within 2 or 3 hours, we have to incubate for those long time. Usually, most probably we have seen, that is our observation, within 2 or 3 hours we will make out that positive reaction. So but still if it is a negative, still we have to re-incubate with the mentioned timing. For the positive control what we can use is Enterococcus species, and for the negative control we can use Viridum streptococci. So these are the some of the biochemical reaction I tried to cover up, which will be used for the bacterial identification in the diagnostic lab. So if there is any query or any question or any other biochemical reaction to be discussed, please put it in a comment. If you like my video, you can subscribe my channel, that is Micro Birdies, the Micro World, for more and more updates. Thank you.